day, good afternoon. Y'all might hear my son in the background. He is out of school for a whole entire week and he's a little bit noisy today. But yeah, I'll just have to pause the video and redirect him and whatnot if I need to. Supposed to be chilling watching cartoons. But anyways, good afternoon, and I'm Chelsea Lou. Welcome back to No Labels, and today I'm feeling good. I feel like a little bit of a celebrity, even though I ain't done my nails and nothing like that. Like, see, they still undone. I just wiped all the nail polish off of them and put the clear over it so my nails wouldn't break, you know, for whenever I be working and stuff. But I'll get to it eventually. So today I want to talk about something pretty personal. Something that's been a part of me for pretty much as long as I can remember. My prophetic gift. So this goes back, well, some of it. It goes back to when I was working at this little corner store, and I have a story about that. It's basically called like Story Time with Chelsea Lou or whatever. You could scroll down there, and it's basically about when I worked at this little corner store, how I went back to the hood and stuff like that. My spiritual discernment was on point, cause, but yeah. So like, when I was working at this little store, this was not the first time, like I said, but it was the most clear and like non-metaphoric. It was very literal, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I used to have these dreams and I'd be like, what? You know what I'm saying? And then it would happen and I'd be like, oh. Like 6 months later, you know what I'm saying? They was not all the way on point, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, so like previous to me leaving this specific job or whatever, like probably like a month before or something, I don't really remember, I had this dream. In this dream I saw guns, a gunshot, and 2 officers showing up there, you know what I'm saying, in the dream. It felt very real and I just couldn't shake it at all. It was very scary. But then not long after, something happened at this store, and it followed to a T what my dream warned. And the same 2 police officers showed up in real life whenever I called 911, and I was like, whoa. Like, I was like sort of scared of myself, y'all. Like, for real. I was like, whoa, that's scary. But yeah, like, they thought I was scared because of the shots and stuff, but really I was scared because I was afraid. You know what I mean? I was afraid. I was like, no, I do not want to know all that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? My discernment is so on point now. I can sit down with somebody in 2 minutes and have their whole life figured out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like a diary or something like that I don't want to know all the way. But I try not to be intrusive about it, and I try to make it to where, like, helpful. I try to guard and protect myself against other people and feeling they stuff and stuff like that. Just so y'all know, I'm not I'm wearing a shirt. I don't know why I thought about that just now. Anyways, back to my story. That was one of those moments that made me stop and go like, okay, God, I see you. I guess this is real. This is what you really want me to do and have. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, that wasn't the first time that I noticed something different about me. I've been spiritually aware since I was like around 8 or 9 years old. Probably before that, honestly. Growing up autistic. And for a long time, I was the only black person in my family. My mother had kids by different fathers, and we mostly, until I was a teenager, lived in areas that were not diverse in any way, shape, or form. I was born in Tecumseh, Nebraska. But yeah, the teen years, you know what I'm saying, being when I moved into the more urban neighborhood, but by then I had already felt like misunderstood, and like I stood out and stuff like that. And yeah, like it was just kind of too late for me to fit in anywhere at that point anyways. But because I really still had that due to all the places I originally lived at, and I still stuck out because I was not from the like urban parts, you know what I'm saying? Even though I was happy and excited and whatnot, but I mean, to be around more diversity, but yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. But in that long season of feeling isolated, it was then when I really started noticing that I could feel and see things that others couldn't. Dreams, feelings, signs. It's kind of like God spoke to me in the form of patterns. That's something that autistic people are very good at deciphering. Really like a little tingly feeling on the inside sometimes whenever something happens and he's like, stop, pay attention. You know what I'm saying? But when I started owning that gift, I started saying like, yeah, I got a gift. You know what I'm saying? People did not react with love. Like, probably like, I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot to buy new fly swatter. I broke it. I broke my fly swatter. I got that. I went on a little spree. You know what I'm saying? So I will take care of that later on this evening. So that the distractions in my video can remain minimal. I know if I'm distracted, y'all are distracted. But when I started owning that gift, I started saying, yeah, I got a gift. People did not react with love, okay? My own family, they mocked me. They made a point to talk over me because like probably was afraid about what I was finna say about them. You know what I'm saying? Because I just started, like I had a real season of just being quiet, like a long time, and I didn't talk. But then, like, you know what I'm saying, at some point when I did start talking, they was like, okay, she's saying too much. Like, she probably about to say something about me or to me or, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to know. But, yeah, they shunned me. Kind of made me feel, really, not kind of, a lot. Made me feel like something was wrong with me. But I was fortunate enough to... So, anyway, y'all, my son... I just had my... I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt my own video because, seriously, like... I had the windows rolled up to, like, let some sunshine in. You know what I'm saying? And my son just came out the bathroom. And he pulled his pants up after he came out the bathroom, y'all. So I don't know who he just... I don't know who he just showed all his business to, y'all. That's very upsetting. Anyways. Yes. Anyways. They made it a point to, like, talk over me at every standpoint that they could. Like, they did not want to hear, most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, they want to hear anything that came out of my mouth. But they made me feel like something was wrong with me, like I said. And I remembered Joseph was the one that God chose to have prophetic dreams. You know what I'm saying? He could see what was coming, but his brothers hated that, you know? And they were jealous, and they were full of hatred. And they even tried to unalive him, and they end up selling him into slavery. Like, their own brother. You know what I'm saying? And, but what God meant, what they meant for evil, the brothers, God turned it all into good. You know what I'm saying? It was still all incorporated, or it was always part of the plan. And so Joseph's gift ended up saving lives, including his own family, that, you know, shunned him and, like, I guess basically I don't know if that's called disown. Really, they just tried to unalive the man. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of worse than anything that I've experienced. But that shows you right there. God knows exactly who to choose, you know? He saw Joseph's heart. His brothers were wicked, jealous, and cruel. So, I mean, not my Bubba, though. Not my Bubba. So, but he passed on a while ago, like a really long time ago. But he was way, way younger than me. So, like, the isolation feeling that lasted for a really long time until he was kind of, like, old enough to have conversations with, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's a way different story. But anyways, that's why God did not give his brothers the vision. You know what I'm saying? Because of all that hatred and that ugliness that they had inside their spirit, which it never does say that they changed their ways. I mean, it really doesn't. Because after all that stuff happened, they didn't say, hey, Joseph, like, we're sorry. They weren't crying. No, they were just like, Dad said, you know, after he died, like, really? Dad said for you to be nice to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. But anyways, I mean, at least I think. I don't want to misquote the Bible on accident. Y'all got to read up on that for yourselves. But, yeah, that's why God didn't give them the visions, because they were evil. And he was disgusted by them. He gave it to the one whose heart was pure and who was strong enough to endure the suffering caused by the evil ones that surrounded him, which were his brothers. Because, and his dad was kind of weak. Like, just keep that to yourself. Like, he could have been somebody that he could have leaned on and talked to and tried to, like, pray harder so he could figure out how to mentor his son. But no, he's just like, shh, just be quiet. I mean, we all do it, I guess, sometimes. I'm trying to do it right now when I'm doing my video. My son is getting on my nerves. But, yeah, because with all that, so, like, with all that, like, his heart that was pure, as well as the strength that made him strong enough to endure the suffering caused by the evil ones that were surrounding him, which was his brothers. Because with all that put together, like, he knew with the pure heart, along with all that struggling and suffering that he knew he was going to endure, he knew that if you put both of those qualities together, that he just would be a boss. You know what I'm saying? The type of person that he initially had the vision of him becoming. So, if you've ever felt different, like spiritually sensitive, or like you could see things before they happen, or like, yeah, like you could see things and you're like just aware, don't let people make you feel crazy or less than. Be careful who you tell. Not everybody's going to be happy about what God is doing or is going to do in your life. Actually, probably 9 or maybe 8 out of 10 people won't be. So here's a tip that helped me. When you do tell someone, right, about a dream that came true, or really about anything, watch their reaction. If their face looks disgusted, because like I told you, I'm autistic, so I didn't used to pay attention to stuff like that. I used to be like blah 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 blah. So you know, and then I had a season of not talking at all because people's